I don't know how maybe I do something wrong, so I don't see his presentation.
I'm just putting it on again now. So I just stopped sharing my screen. Maybe now. Give me a second.
It's on, Rasmus.
Okay. So our sixth development number 6 in Bali is called Coco Hills Skyline Lifestyle Residence, and you can say it's our most premium development until today. It's located in one of the most expensive locations in Bali. It's located in Uluwatu in a city called Bingin, and it's simply located up in the hills. The To give you an overview of the project, it comes with 100 properties. Yes, we are going to have a helicopter. It's not going to work. It's more from a branding perspective to you can say to showcase that we are a project in the mountains. So we are going to have a statue of a helipad. This is not of the exterior. This is not the final renders. We are going to have over here, we're going to have a paddle court. We're going to have a paddle court. Below, we're going to have a gym, and then we're going to have a fine dining restaurant. In the middle here, we have a big pool area, wellness over here, and facial treatments, massage, and a cafe going all the way through the complex as you see it here. As we spoke about a little bit in the beginning, I can just go over. We have 6 developments in Bali. We have a portfolio of projects of around $55 million. We have 2 finished built. We have 4 under construction, including Coco Hills. With our management company, Bali Nest Villas, we do the management today of more than 200 properties in Bali. Small villas, bigger villas, hostels, and similar. We have today investors from 16 plus countries. We have in total helped investors worldwide investing more than $20 million into real estate in Bali real estate. And with Coco Development Group, we have more than 200 properties under development. As I showcased a little bit in the beginning, we have the mansion by Coco, it's finished built. We have the Coco Lifestyle Resort, around 7 months into construction. When I finish my presentation, I can showcase you some of the construction progress. We have the Coco Boulevard next to, under construction. We have the Coco Lifestyle Residence, finished built, rented out. On top of the iceberg, I can tell you that we have resold 3 of the properties by completion of our clients. We have the Amazonas Jungle Resort under construction, and we start the Coco Hills, something similar to in the coming week. As I spoke about a little bit before, it comes with paddle court, gym, co-working space, massage, restaurant. Also comes with a full equipped wellness with a big focus on having a clear view. That's why we have developed the wellness area over here, so you can simply be in a wellness and in the same time have a beautiful view all over the resort and all over the city of Bingin, which you see out here. Instead of, like you typically see it in a lot of hotels, then you, instead of having like let's call it a wellness in an open air space, you typically have this inside of the building. So you go, let's call it, you go down in a basement, and if you ask me, I go in a lot of wellness. I prefer to be outside instead of being down in a basement. I don't get claustrophobic, but it's not a place I prefer to be for a long period of time. For the ones that is new to Coco Development Group, how we structure our investment cases, all of our properties comes with a opportunity to pay 20% from rental profit. I can try to showcase you an overview. That means that, for example, let's say you invest into a Coco Colina and the full price is 155. Your investment cash on cash is $124,000, and the last 20% gets paid from the rental profit. As I've said a time or two before, it's our way to showcase for you as a client that we are in this together, and we get our profit when we actually start to generate you profit and not by a key handover. So you can say that typically, let's call it the normal payment plan you would face if you are investing together with a normal developer or whatever you want to call it, is that the last 20% is paid by a key handover. But you can say the way I operate, I always look at my company as if I was the client. And if I was the client, the most important for me would not be the key handover for the property I'm not going to stay in. But it would be that we actually go into operation and we actually begin to generate cash flow. If you look at it from a perspective of a map, we're located here. I think I can show you a little bit better from a perspective of a map. Personally, I live myself here in Canggu area, also very popular place. We have the Coco Lifestyle Resort and the Coco Boulevard located here. We have Coco Hills located here. This is just for you to try to understand, like the view where we are located at. This is more or less going to be the view from Coco Hills. So we are, let's call it some meters around above sea level. And that has been the focus from the beginning when we were looking for a new location for this concept. It was to simply have a good view. Because you can say when it comes to creating a good investment case, some of the most important, it is the view. It's the same as you see why we have created a jungle resort, Amazona. It is again back to the view. In this case, it's the view. It's the view of the river. It's a view of the jungle. It's the same. If we talk something everybody understand, if we talk, let's call it beachfront properties. Why are you able to rent out a beachfront property for 30% more compared to a property located, let's call it in downtown in here? It is, again, it's the view. Of course, also the sound of the ocean. Everybody loves that. But in the end of the day, it is the view. That's why we have been very focused on getting a location in the mountains. So we simply have a view of the ocean, as well as we have a view going through the city of Binging. To the ones that are interested and not really 100% familiar with Binging, as I said shortly before, I live in Canggu, so I want to make it very clear, this is not an emotional investment. Coco Hills, based from a perspective of freehold, it's a project of $26 million. The Coco Lifestyle Resort and the Coco Boulevard is in total around $11 million project. My point is that we are looking at having projects in Binging for almost $40 million. Believe me when I tell you that I've done my groundwork. When we are looking at investing so much money into Binging, we are doing it for a reason. If you look at Bali overall, Binging, Padang Beach, Binging Beach is the two most popular beaches. It's very popular for the surfers, but also for, I would say, a little bit finer clientele. You can compare, for example, let's say El Cabron. El Cabron is a very known beach club located down here, which is incredibly beautiful. One of my favorite places in Bali. And you can compare that a little bit with, let's call it, Finn's Beach Club that you have in Bali. From my perspective, it showcased very, very good the future of Bali, where we find Bali in 5 years. From a perspective of pictures, Finn's Beach Club also looks incredible, and it is also a really nice place. I don't go there very often, to be honest. But you can say Canggu, Seminyak, Kuta, and similar areas you have up here. cater a little bit more to a broader audience. That's how I see it. If I should give my picture of where we are going to see Uluwatu in 5 to 10 years, already now, if you look at the price setting, Binging is around 20% higher. It costs around 20% more to live in Binging compared to Canggu. Even the gasoline is more expensive. But the rental prices are also more expensive. The occupancy rate is higher. So to give you a short overview of why we're investing in Binging, it's the area in Bali where you have the highest occupancy rate and you have the highest rental prices. You have around 3,000 accommodations in Binging. You have around 12,000 accommodations in Canggu. You have around 4 times as high competition in Canggu compared to Binging. There was a lot of talk. If anyone has any questions, yes, I just I'm trying to go into comments. Simon is texting, seeing beach clubs as the future of Bali is a very sad vision of Bali. Bali is Bali because of the culture. Yes, I could not agree more with you. From time to time, I get the question if we are going to invest into Lombok, for example. And I can tell you my answer is always very, very, very clear. Why? In general, I think Lombok is an okay investment, long term. Occupancy rate, rental price wise, they are not anything similar to Bali. But like my point with why I'm mentioning this is, I believe much more in Bali. There's a reason I live in Bali. It is people and it's people. And the same as if you're building a company or if it's a football club or whatever it is, building a unique culture is not something that happens overnight. And that's the same with Bali. Bali is very, very, very unique because of the local people. I was out having a dinner with Peter, Danish guy. It was actually yesterday. And we were just talking about that he used to live in Koh Samui, or Koh Phangan. Yeah, it was Koh Samui. And just like the difference between living in Bali and living in Koh Samui. He had lived there for 2 years, and as he said, like the people he met there, it was like, yeah, let's go to a bar. The people you meet here, it's serious people. It's people who have a story to tell. Everybody's here for a reason. And I think my point is that, like, I think there's a reason that Bali is able to attract so many fucking good people. It's because of the local people. I've lived here myself the last 2 years. I'll say I have a good heart. I'm an honest, quite transparent person. But I've become a better person. I've been more given and tried to think less about my own needs and the people I have around me. And just to put a comment to your to answer your comment, Simon, I don't see beach clubs as being the future of Bali. I think more my point was to showcase the clientele. You see in Uluwatu versus in Canggu. I see Canggu, Kuta, Seminyak catering to a more broad audience than you do in Uluwatu. You simply see it, and that's not just beach clubs. It's also wellness. It's also the restaurants. It's the cafes. It's the concepts. They are simply just more high-end. They are 180 Day Club, Six Senses, Istana. The prices for going on a wellness place in Uluwatu is simply just more expensive than going in Canggu. And as it is with a brand or whatever, like the number one thing to showcase that you are premium is the price. Anyone else who has anything they would like to ask about? I would love to go into a dialogue. If anyone has anything they would like to ask me about, or anything they are curious about. No. I think I'm gonna continue with the presentation about Coco Hills. So as mentioned, we are located in Uluwatu. We have El Cabrón, have Binging Beach. A lot of you have probably heard about Savaya. Savaya is a worldwide, very famous, I don't want to call it a beach club, I want to call it a concert place, located down here. When it comes to Coco Hills, we have 3 types of properties. We have Coco Colina. Colina means hills in Spanish. That's why it's called Colina. It is a 40 square meter, 1-bedroom property that comes, instead of with a balcony, it comes with a balcony, but it comes with a private, let's call it a private pool, where you have a table in the middle, where you can sit with a glass of champagne or with your laptop and sit and work at night or in the daytime. Also comes with a couch, looking similar to, let me take it from here, looking similar to this from outside. So in total we have 3 property types. They are all built out of the same concept, with a focus on creating something that is minimalistic, something that looks a little bit more like a home. For me, this type of floors reminds me of being in a home instead of being in a hotel. And then it comes with the concept of the hills with stones on the walls, and minimalistic tiles in a gray colored tone. So it's Scandinavian minimalistic with a touch of bohemian design, as our architect calls it. Well, to be honest, our architect doesn't call it that. I call it that. Question from Simon. Simon is asking, I have some questions about the investments. How do ownership and taxes work as an international investor? How does an investment influence the availability of visa types? Super good question. I can say in a bigger picture, in Bali, you have 2 options of investments. You have what is called leasehold and you have what is called freehold. Depending on who you ask, but a lot of people, they have the belief that it's impossible in Bali to own a property freehold as a foreigner. I am clearly a foreigner myself. I'm not from Indonesia. But you have the option to invest freehold. Coco Hills, we own that property, or we own that land freehold. There is simply no other landowner than us. So how do you obtain this? You have a land certificate that gives you the title as the owner of the land, and I don't own it. I have a company that owns it, and I am the owner of the company. And no, you don't need to have any local people in the company. You just need to have 2 shareholders. So for example, you can be the 99% shareholder, and your sister, your mother, or whoever, your wife, can be a 1% shareholder with no rights to act on behalf of the company. Hi, Simon.
First of all, thanks for the webinar. As an international investor, I mean, us as investors in Coco or in the Coco Hills, for instance.
Simon, I can't hear shit. Sorry. Let me just continue explaining in the meantime. How do ownership and taxes work as an international investor? You can buy it freehold, you can buy it leasehold. Let me just try to give you an overview from here so you have a broader picture. From a perspective of Coco Development Group, what would be best for us? For us as a company, it would be best for us if you as a client invest into freehold. Why? Because we earn more money on it. But is that my goal setting? Is my goal setting that we, Coco Development Group, is earning more money, or is our goal setting that our clients has the best possible cash flow so we can invest together and work together for the next 10 years? Yes. So as I internal have said to the whole company is that we recommend our clients to invest into a 30-year lease. And with that in mind, I want to make it very clear. That means that you own, let's call it, or you lease the property for a period of 30 years, but it doesn't mean that you're losing the property. How I would love you to look at this is more look at it like a payment plan structured over a long period of time with you as an owner never losing the property. Because facts are, from a perspective of renting out the property and making a rental income of $130 per night, we as a company are not able to rent it out for more money per night because we own it freehold, or you as an investor own it freehold. You simply just, you can say you just lock up capital, and from a perspective of making a good investment, it doesn't make any sense. So what I recommend our clients and how we structure all of our investment agreements is, initial, you have a 30-year lease, and by contract, I'm going to show you here from internal. Let's take the Colina. By contract, you have the right as an investor together with Coco Development Group to extend the land with 10 or 20 years. And I want to make it very clear, you also have the right to extend it with 30 or 40 years if you want so, for $1,500 per year. So in short, it costs you peanuts. When we look at it from a perspective of budget, it's not the land that is expensive. Well, of course, it also costs money, especially if you invest into locations that is prime locations. But from a perspective of budget, what is the most expensive? That's the building, it's the furniture, it's the taxes, it's the building permits, and it's everything we put on top. So in short, this just showcased that we can actually go into operation. We can, let's call it, really build a trust between each other. You get your profit back. You get your first quarterly report, you get your second. The first year went, the second year went. We give you as a client, we give you 5 years to extend the land for $1,500 per year for 10, 20, 30, or 40 years. Jolanda has a question. Yes, the question is the price including fully furnished? Yes. As we understand, investment is about trust. We want to be as transparent as we can. In short, all of our prices are fully including everything. I can also show you from give me a second. Wait a second. There we go. Our prices is included taxes. So when we sell you a property, we have a lease tax of 10% that we pay as a company. We also pay all building permits, all other legal matters, land taxes, and what else comes to it from that perspective. And the property is also fully furnished. In the investment agreement, there is an annex with a breakdown of how many chairs, how many protectors, how many things is coming. Sorry, Tim, but I'm sorry, man. I'm a professional man, and I don't like to make mistakes. I really apologize. I can be transparent with you. It's been in the back of my head since you mentioned it, and I really apologize. Just to talk loud, in the Coco Lifestyle Resort in our renders, in the bedrooms there was a picture of a TV in all the rooms, and it's a mistake from our side. We are not perfect. In the annex, there is mentioned that there is one TV / one big projector or whatever it's called. And from the beginning, that has been the plan. So it has not been to try to showcase something that was not real. From our perspective, we have simply not thought about it. So I just wanted to say that loud. But yes, the prices is including everything except one thing, and that's a notary fee. That's a notary fee of 1%. That's on the buyer of the property, but except that, our prices are like fully included everything. Another thing I want to mention, but I think I'm going to take the question of Ricardo first. How is the rental income fairly distributed among the different types of apartments and owners? Is there a transparent booking system? Do you have more information about this structure? Super good question, Ricardo. Thank you so much for bringing it up. For us as a company, we are first of all, we're very community driven, but second of all, it is important for us that our clients, they obviously earn the same amount of money. Imagine going forward, you come to an event of Coco Development Group here in Bali, you come, let's say, to an opening. I can tell you for facts, we are planning to make a 3-day opening festival of the Coco Lifestyle Resort, because that's how you get attention, that's how you put yourself on a map. So we're gonna have talks and simply make what we're gonna call the Coco Lifestyle Festival to really put attention into the opening of the Coco Lifestyle Resort. But to answer your question, we have, let's take the Coco Hills as an example. We have 3 different property types. That means they go into 3 different pools. So from our perspective, if you, for example, Ricardo, you believe mostly in the Colina, we as a company believe, we find it fair, let's call it that you share the revenue of the Colinas together with the other investors who have invested into this property type. So in short, all the revenue between the Colinas is going to go into one pool and equally divided between the owners. The same goes for the Coco Outer and for the Coco Horizonte. That means that, let's say you're investing as one of the first investors and you get a property on the 3rd floor with a perfect view or whatever it could be, there is no difference. In the end of the day, all revenue gets shared in 3 different pools and equally divided. It also means that, let's say, Ricardo, now I'm just talking to you, that you come to Bali and you want to stay in your own property. And imagine it's rented out. We have a guest on Airbnb or through our own booking application called Shares by Coco. You can freely stay in any other property in the resort. It doesn't change anything, as everything goes into one big pool and all gets equally divided between the owners. You can stay in any of the Colinas that you like. So in practical speaking, it gets equally divided between the owners. If you want to stay in the property, that's what I wanted to put a comment to. We have a very low, what we call a service fee, as we don't have any management fee. So we have a service fee of $200 for 1 month. So that means, Ricardo, now I'm just talking to you, that if you come to Bali and you want to stay in your own property, you can say the bigger picture, you don't get your rental income from the period, and you pay a $200 service fee for 1 month, which covers, to be honest, I don't think it covers the expenses overall, but it should cover that you have a serviced apartment, and you can say the cost of all shared facilities. For example, there is electricity to a gym, to a wellness, and so on and so on. Tim has a question.
Yes, you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. It's just for example, when I want to stay just 1 week, is it also possible, or is it always on month based?
We are super flexible. No. The 1 month was just because you can say from a perspective of the agreement, we talk.
Yeah, I understand you. And another question, is there a kind of like hybrid staying? So for example, on the website like booking.com, my apartment will be available. So when there is a booking, I will leave the place so the booking can came true. But for example, when there's no booking, I can just stay there. But what I try to explain is when it is booked, we make money. So that would prefer, yeah, that would be the best. So, but when it is not in use, I really like to use the place myself. But if there's a booking, I go the same day. Is that a kind of possibility? If you understand what I mean?
I think I think I understand. I think the other way around I can try to explain you. So you can say if you can say practical speaking, if you want to stay in your own property, you contact, for example, our amazing colleague Sasha, who's in charge of a lot of our clients, and say, hi Sasha, I'm coming to Bali the 1st of January. I would like to book A5 and stay there for 2 weeks. Then we take it off the market. You can say we block the calendar, and
Yeah.
practical speaking, it's, you can say we have a lot of people who books a property on the day. So it's difficult for us to say, hey Tim, your property is available tomorrow. We can tell you that, but it can also be booked on the day, or 2 days before, or 3 days before. So that time loop of, is difficult. But I can tell you, for example, with La Mansion, we have our bigger villas. What we recommended our clients who have invested into that property is wait, because they wanted to stay there in December, and we said we can do so. It's completely up to you, but we recommend you to wait making a booking, because if you book it for 3 days in the middle of December, you're not destroying the whole month, but you are blocking a calendar. So imagine you have a family coming and they want to book a property for 2 weeks. They are not going to see the property on Airbnb because it's not going to be available for 2 weeks.
Yeah, what I'm more likely mean is, for sure, if I book it myself, of course I can stay. But when after that time is no booking, I would like to stay there. But on the website, it's on paper, it's available. So, for example, the day I'm there, it's not available. But if there's a booking for the next day, I will leave the next day. You know what I mean? So, we make maximum profit from the rental.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I stay there, but also knowing that if there's a booking, I have to get my bag and move out. That's my choice.
Yeah, understand. Practical speaking, it would still be blocked in our system. So imagine if we just had 2 clients. So we have 2 colinas. Let's say that. Let's say Coco Hills existed of 2 properties. You, Tim, you're the one owner. I'm the other owner. So we are actually sharing the profit between these 2 properties, between the 2 of us. Let's say I love the place. I love to play paddle. I don't have anything else to do. I'm gonna stay there 365 days per year. I spend 100% of my days. That means I lose 100% of my profit. And your property is rented out. Let's just say it's rented out 80% through the year, and that equals, let's just say, $25,000 net profit. Then you have spent 0% of your days. I have spent 100% of my days. That means I'm gonna lose 100% of my profit. You are not losing any profit. You know what I mean? So that's internal how we calculate it. And yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I'm back.
I will ask this question again with Glenn. And, yeah, thank you so much.
Simon is asking if you own the apartment as an investor or as a part of a company. In short, I want to say you own it. You own the property either as a company or as a private person. It depends a little bit about your structure, I would say. The question I typically ask questions is, how are you looking at investing? Are you looking to invest from a company, or are you looking to invest as a private person? Because you can say then you go in and look into the tax structure. If you invest as a company, my recommendation is to say you have a company, and I don't know where you're from, but let's say you're from Germany or Denmark or Holland or whatever. Let's say you're from Germany. Then you have a German company, and your German company creates a company locally in Bali, it invests the money from your company in Germany to your company in Bali. That means that you create a transaction between the two companies and you create a loan. So you have a document of loan. That means that your local company in Bali can always pay back the money to your company in Germany tax-free. Moving forward, and this is the reason why we're creating a local company here, that's because then your local company invests into Coco Development Group and becomes the owner of the property. This is one structure, meaning that moving forward, the profit from your property, from your apartment, from your villa, comes from Coco Development Group and gets paid out to your company here in Indonesia, meaning you pay locally tax in Indonesia, you pay corporate taxes. For reference, corporate taxes in Bali is for the first 3 years of operation, less than 1%. You pay 0.05% in final taxes in Bali or in Indonesia. And let's look 3 years ahead. You have invested, let's say you have invested $150,000. You have made, let's say, $75,000 back in profit over 3 years. That's standing in your Indonesian bank of Central Asia, Danamon, or whatever similar bank. Then you can always take that money and pay it back to your company in Germany tax-free. You just need to follow the market interest, but in a bigger picture, it doesn't really matter. If anyone is interested to hear more about this, you're more than welcome to text me in private. This is what I've been working with the last 5 years, making company structures, and I'm more than happy to put more words into it if anyone is interested. But yeah, that's from a perspective of company. If you invest privately, you can invest privately and then we can set up a company for you later on, or you can invest through a company. There is different models, but in general it's quite simple. If we take it from a perspective of the project, we just launched it here for 10 days ago. If we look at it from a perspective of what we have of properties, we have 3 types. We have Colina for $155, we have Coco Outer for $200, and we have the Coco Horizonte for $245,000. How we have structured the pre-sale of the Coco Hills is that we have, I'm just going to find it from my internal notes, I think that's going to be easier for you, is that the first 20 properties that we are getting invested, and I will say I'm quite confident that we are going to get the first 20 properties invested sometimes in the coming week. Tomorrow we are launching the sales officially, as you can call it, as we have the master plan of where are A1, A2, A3 and so on located in resort. That means tomorrow we are officially starting the sales. In the pre-sale, you have the option to invest and save $10,000 into the Coco Colina, $15,000 if you invest into the Coco Outer, and $30,000 if you invest into the Coco Horizonte. Coco Colina is a 1-bedroom, Coco Outer is a bigger 1-bedroom, and the Coco Horizonte is a 2-bedroom looking like this. So it has a little bit bigger living room. From a perspective of investment, the Coco Horizonte or the Coco Colina would personally be my recommendation. In general, how we build is very focused on bedrooms. As I usually say, people, they calculate bedrooms, they don't calculate square meters. And you can say the Coco Horizonte appeals to, it can be a family, it can be a group of friends. Let's say you come 2 guys, can also be 2 girls. But in general, it's a 2-bedroom. It gathers to people that comes more than 1. Where Coco Outer and the Coco Colina more gathers to this could either be the couple, And then we are going to have, from a perspective of renting it out, what we call the one bedroom, the premium one bedroom. From a perspective of how are you actually making money on your property, and how is it actually possible? So I want to make it clear. The payment plan is the payback calculations you see here is based on the original prices. So that actually means that from a perspective of payback calculation with the pre-sale price, we're actually looking at making a little bit higher return. What I personally always focus on is the annual return from a pessimistic perspective, because it's important for me to deliver more than I promise. To make it simple, for us to make 15% net profit back to you as an investor, we need to have an occupancy rate of 70%, and we need to have a rent per night of $130. I can give you a little bit of market overview. If you look in Binging, and I think I would recommend you all, everybody who's serious about investing, like we're not standing in a supermarket, it's not buying a milk, it's a big decision. So don't take my word for it. Like, honestly, go in on Airbnb yourself, go in on booking.com yourself, and then try to look for a property in Binging today and the next 7 days, and then try to see the amount of actually nice properties you're able to find. I promise you, you're going to find less than 30 properties, and now I'm actually going to go in together with you. I think overall I'm going to be able to find 150 properties. And no, I don't live here. If I want to have a property today and the next 7 days, so we are located right here. This is Binging City. You have 178 places within the map area. So in the whole area out here, in this area, just to put it in perspective, you have 3,000 properties. I would highly recommend you to do this yourself and try to look through the price setting, try to make a parallel to the prices of the properties we have in Coco Hills, and then look at the prices, what it costs to rent a property in Binging yourself. I want to make it very clear that overall in Binging, and you can take this data yourself, you can go into AirDNA, that's all data you have from Airbnb. You can go in yourself, you have across all properties in the Binging Pichacho area it's called, you have an average occupancy rate of 86%. For us to make you 15% back in net profit on your investment requires us a rent per night of $130 and an occupancy rate of minimum 70%. So why are we able to make a return on 15 to 17%? We are able to do so because you invest into a pre-sale. Because you're investing into a property off market. It's the same you see in our projects that is already in operation. I am more than happy if anyone after this meeting want to see proof of concept. This project is fully rented out, and it makes our clients between 15 to 17% net profit. Why is that possible? It's because the client that bought this property, they invested in off-market pre-sale and not buy a premium price. The person buying this property when it's finished built, by completion, are looking at a price something similar to this, around 30% higher, bringing simply the client to make a return around, let's say, 8 to 10%, something similar to that. Is that a good investment? Yes. I don't want to look the other way and say it's not a good investment. But I'm here to work with you. I'm not here to sell your property. I'm here to make you a good investment case. And my highest recommendation is, I understand I understand you're going to have some waiting time until the project is finished, but where you make the real money is when you invest off market, because saved money is earned money. You are simply paying way, way, way less compared to if you buy a property when it's finished built. So yeah, from a perspective of investment, what I personally always talk into with the clients I have meetings with or I work together with today is that if you start to work with us, then you can be very confident that you're going to make minimum 15%. And this is from rental income, net profit after all management, all operation cost. For the ones that doesn't have an overview of how we operate as a company, we have a very, very, very simple model. We have a fixed management and operation fee of 30%. That means that you can be 100% sure that no matter what cost comes, let's say there is a window that breaks, let's say we need to change the air condition, we need to buy new furniture in 2 years to make sure that, 5 years or whatever, to make sure that Coco Hills still in 10 years from now looks super premium. With other words, all utility bills, electricity, whatever comes to it, all cost of shared facilities, staff, marketing budget, ongoing maintenance moving forward, we cover everything in our management and in our operation fee. From a perspective of payment schedule, we look at a 30% down payment. So that would equal, let's say, from a perspective of the Coco Colina at a pre-sale price, we look at an investment of a down payment of $43,500 with the next payment to be found in 9 months and in 18 months. That's it. 3 payments, 1.5 year period, and the last 20% gets paid from the rental profit. That means your investment, if this is something you could be interested in, is cash on cash, $116,000 paid over a payment plan of 18 months. As a company, for the ones that could be interested, in general, if you look at this payment plan, I spoke a little bit about it earlier. As a company, our going forward investment strategy, this doesn't only go for Coco Hills, the same goes for the Coco Lifestyle Resort, Amazona Jungle Resort, and other projects of the same size. Our business model, to be completely transparent, we earn as a company, between 20 to 25% net profit as a company when we get a resort fully invested. That means that you pay 20 to 25% on top of the real cost for us to take care of finding the land, do the architectural design, do all legal paperwork, do the construction, go into operation, and run the place. For our perspective, how we see that we are able to make the best investment case for you, as well as for ourselves for that case, we are also investing into this project. It is to go into operation and resell your property if you want to. It's free. It's your property. We don't have any right at all to resell your property if you don't want to resell it. But our investment plan is simply based on going into operation, operate, for example, Coco Hills. In this case, operated over 3 years. That means you as a client over 3 years get, we've said here, an average of $24,000 back per year. Same number that comes between the two you see here. And after 3 years of operation, go in and resell the property based on what? Based on the yearly profit. So if you look at the selling price, just to take you through the numbers a little bit, It's based on saying, what is the yearly profit? What is the yearly profit times 9? That gives 223,807. So why am I saying times 9? Because we are not selling the properties on the square meters anymore. We are selling it on what is this property actually generating of profit. The same as if you wanted to exit a software company, a burger bar, a cafe, whatever you want to resell. If you look at it from a financial perspective, an investor will always look at, when am I getting my money back? When it comes to real estate, and we say times 9, it means that the investor in line is based on a proven track record of, that could be, let's say, an average. This is an average. Let's say this is the average profit we make through the last 3 years. Based on a proven track record of the profit through the last 3 years of operation, the next investor in line is making 11% net profit if we just perform the same as we have done the last 3 years. I will say to you, I'm very confident that I can resell the whole resort based on a proven track record that a capital fund in Jakarta, a hotel group like Marriott who want to expand into Bali and thinks that the Amazon Jungle Resort or Coco Hills or whatever fits into their Bojai or whatever they call their friends and family concept hotel concept chain. That's the target group. The target group is not to resell it to private investors. Yes, we can do so. But if you look on the real world outside of Bali, everything above 6 to 8%, when you talk with hedge funds and similar that invest into like hard assets, everything above 6 to 8%, that's a very, very, very good investment case. I would say I'm very confident that we as a company can go in and exit the whole resort to one big capital fund who is looking at investing $20 to $30 million, who has a risk profile that is way more low. They are okay if they make 6 to 8 or 11%. What is very important for them is just that there is a proven track record, and they can be 100% sure that they are getting money back, because they're not investing $100,000, they're investing $25, $30 million, and it's not their money. They are operating it as a fund. So it was just to give you a little bit of an overview to the ones that could be interested in investing and was listening a little bit to from our perspective, our investment plan moving forward. I want to make it very, very, very clear. It's just an offer we offer to our clients to resell their property moving forward, because as a company, how we look at it is, this is simply the best way to make a good investment case. In the end of the day, it's your property, it's not ours. We just manage it for you as an investment case, and it's completely up to you. It doesn't change anything. Let's say we go in and resell Coco Hills in 4 years from now, and we have, let's say, 75% of all the investors, they want to resell it, and 25% they don't. That's all right. Then we resell 75% of the place. In the end of the day, it's just a profit. It's just a number. If a capital fund, or whatever you want to call it, a family office, they get 75%, that means they just get XYZ profit. Then the price calculator is the exact same. And for the ones that could be sitting with a question, what about the 25% who don't want to sell? What is going to happen with them? I want to make it very, very, very clear for all of you that I'm not letting anyone down. We are going to continue the management exactly like before. And I can tell you exactly why I'm not going to run a second, like I'm only going to run faster. Why? Because I just got my biggest client ever. And I can promise you one thing, I have one goal setting, and that is to make them satisfied moving forward. So I'm not going to settle and looking the other way because now we resold Coco Hills. I'm only going to run faster. Because if I prove my worth for a person who just invested $25 million into a resort of ours, there is a very high chance that that capital fund probably are going to be the one who's going to buy all the resorts of us moving forward, making sure that we are the developer in Bali that probably are going to make the best investment cases for our clients. That was a lot of talk. I don't remember ever I've been talking so much in 1 hour. Is there anyone who has any questions? We have a few questions I have overlooked. I apologize. I'm gonna take them from a start. I'm gonna take it from the bottom. Is there service to clean the apartment? How much are the costs? What about the cost for energy, water, etc.? Thank you for the question, Ulla. I was a little bit over it previous. We have a 30% management and operation fee. To keep it in short, it covers all expenses. Yearly land, taxes, everything. We have just made a simple model for you as an investor to just concentrate about anything. What you are investing into, you're investing into a business. You're investing into an Airbnb business operated by us. We cover all costs. You get 70% of the profit. And it's quite funny actually, because I was reflecting about it yesterday. I was driving on my scooter and I was trying to think about what other business can you actually invest into where you make 70% in profit. It's not very many businesses that make 70% in profit, operated 100% passive. It's just
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah. We don't like Bitcoin, we like real estate. No. But like instead of like passive investments, like if you have a restaurant, I promise you're not making 70% in profit. Like I've been operating an accounting firm for 5 years. I've had access to like the books of more than 2,000 companies in Denmark. I can promise you one thing, it's not many companies that make 70% in profit. Jura is asking when do you have the floor plan of the building so we can see where the different types are. In general, I would like to know where the horizontal apartments are. Super good question. I can say in general they are going to be spread around, but we should have, and I'll say 99% I'm going to have the master floor plan of the whole place ready tomorrow. I'm just waiting on our architect, but I will say they are trustable. So I hope and believe that we're going to have it tomorrow. For the ones I don't have the contact on, you have the contact of us. Send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message through the website, or if you already are in contact with a colleague of mine, reach out to them. They're great people, I promise you. So yeah, hopefully through the day tomorrow, yeah. Katja Van Wammel is asking, is Coco prepared for a situation in which less or no guests are staying in Coco resorts due to, for example, a worldwide financial crisis or COVID 2.0? We are not. I want to make it very clear, if COVID happens, we are as fucked as you are, just to be straight up. I don't expect that. But I also just want to be very honest. If a tsunami comes, when the place is finished built, we have what is called like a force majeure insurance. So if a tsunami comes, we are covered, but we are running. Yeah, it's the same as when COVID was there. Nobody was like really earning money on it. It was a shit show for everyone, and I don't want to lie for anyone. If COVID comes, I don't expect it, but if COVID comes and hits, yes, that's going to have a very negative impact of the tourism. With that said, I just want to make it clear for the people, if you want to have an overview of the tourism, in October this year, Bali hit all records of tourism. International arrivals, I think was broke. We are looking at almost 8 million people arriving in Bali in the first 10 months. Never been more people. And if you ask me, and what I just mentioned was international arrivals, if you ask me, this is just the beginning. Bali is still very, very, very cheap to invest into. It's still very, very, very cheap to live here. For me, it's quite simple math that it's probably not gonna be like that forever. You have high level of people, you have the most incredible nature, you have 28 to 32 degrees all year round. It's just a really, really, really good place to be. And tourism is increasing. If you look at the world, more than 50% of all people in the world today, they work remotely. They either freelance or they work hybrid or they work remotely. That means that the way people are traveling today is changing a lot. People's not going to Bali anymore for just 3 weeks. I'm a very social guy. I have an office obviously down the road, but I'm sitting in a co-working right now, and I just for the people who haven't been in Bali, the people I'm sitting working with next to me is like, it's not just marketing agencies and the typically self-employed anymore. It's lawyers from London. It's people having a regular job, but they chose to say, hey, you know what? Why should I be in London over the winter when it's 0 degrees? I have a studio, I pay 2,000. Like, in short, I have much higher living cost of staying in London or whatever where it could be in the world, compared to going to Bali where I can sit in 28 degrees and work with my lawyer job, my customer service employment, or whatever it could be. And if you try to look at what we are building with Coco Development Group, a lot of the people we cater to is the modern entrepreneur. It is the modern traveler looking for community. We made a post about it the other day on my Instagram where we are talking about Coco Development Group versus the hotel industry. What if there was space for more? What if we could create more than just places to stay, but places that felt more like a second home? For the ones that paid attention, I mentioned it when I was going through the floor plan of the Coco Hills. There is a reason we have this floor. There is a reason we have this design. There is a reason we have a kitchen in all properties. Because if you ask me what is the best place I've been in the world, it's not based on the place I stayed, but the people I met. And that is exactly what everything we do stands for. That's everything we stand for. We create memories. We create much more than just properties. We create the lifestyle you want to have around it. And we create shared facilities so you can actually get to meet your neighbor. And I really want that to go all the way through the brand, even in the design of our properties, even, of course, in the design of our properties. I want to make people feel home. That's also why we are opening up for people to get the option to invest from $1,000. It's not ready yet, but we are getting there. That's not for us as a company because we are interested in raising $1,000. It's because we want to create the world's biggest investment community for people seeking for more. Imagine if we can get, over the next 5 years, imagine if we can get 25,000 people to invest $1,000. That means we have a worldwide, we have a global community of 25,000 people who have invested into Coco Development Group. What do you think that will create when people, I think the people who are sitting in this meeting who's an investor themselves, we create belonging through ownership, and we create loyalty through benefits. If there is a competitor or whatever you want to call it, I've been studying a lot. It's Emirates, the flight company, and it's Marriott Hotel Group. Marriott has the best friends and family loyalty program in the world. You don't find a hotel chain that has more loyal customers than Marriott Hotel. And that is because exactly what I just mentioned before. They create loyalty through benefits. And what we in Coco Development Group are going to do, we are going to create belonging through ownership. So our goal setting is to simply get as many people as possible to invest into Coco Development Group on a micro investment, because I want people through communication and feeling, when people they arrive at a Coco property, I want them to feel home. through marketing, through communication, I want people to, when they arrive, they're not arriving at a hotel, they're arriving at home. They know that when you are staying in a Coco property, all communication is based on that here you are in a community. You are allowed to talk to your neighbor. People, you are part of something bigger. And I promise you one thing, I can see it on the investors we have today who have invested $25,000. When they go into the mansion and they stay there for 3 nights, they are the owner. They are not booking a property, they are at home. And that is the whole point. We want to make people feel like they are staying in one big community, because I promise you, from a perspective of creating a good investment case, Coco Hills, for example, the Coco Lifestyle Resort, the Coco Boulevard or whatsoever, people are gonna stay way longer. People, they come for a week. It's the same we see in the Coco Lifestyle Residence. People, they try to book it 4, 5, 7 days. Now we have people staying there for 1 month. Why? Because they have a good time. Because we have events. Because they are meeting their neighbors. Because we have an active WhatsApp group where they can actually communicate with the people they are living together with. And we have what we call internal happiness manager, and my colleague Sasha, who's gonna make 100% sure that they have a good time. It's not just about building properties, it's about creating an experience. And I will say with very much confidence and very much happiness and proud inside of me, I fucking love what I do, and I'm not gonna stop. I think that was it for today. I want to thank you all for coming. I really do. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for taking your time. That was 1 hour and 20 minutes of non-stop talk, but I feel like I came in, I just came in, I tried to, if you can maybe feel it, I tried to just be myself. I don't care if I'm the founder of a multi-million dollar company. In the end of the day, I'm just a down-to-earth guy who just fucking loves to make things happen. And I want to say thank you to all of the clients who are having this meeting, who have put that trust in you and put that trust in us. You have done a good choice. And I'm always ears. I'm not perfect. We can always do better. So if anyone has any feedback, as I used to say to my colleagues, especially if I want to say something bad to them, then I always start out saying, hey, if there's anything you feel that I could do better, I see it as your responsibility to tell me, and the other way around, I hope you agree. And then I can tell them what I want them to do better, right? But in the bigger picture, if there's anything you see that I can do better, or we as a company can do better, anything you feel like, hey man, this is not really transparent, or this is, from our perspective, difficult to understand, I just want to make it very clear. I understand it's a very big decision to buy a property. Look at it from our perspective. We just do everything we can to be as transparent as possible, and we are here to work together. We're not here to just say this is how it is. If there's anything you would like to have added to our agreement, or anything you would like that we do different, we are not here to sell you a property. We're here to make you a good investment case, and we're here to work together with you. Right?
Thank you so much, Rasmus. Thank you so much. Also, that was really good.
Now I am gonna go, and I'm gonna have some Mexican food tonight, I think. Thank you so much, everybody. I wish you a beautiful Thursday, and before I forget it, to the ones who are in Bali, we have on Saturday, you can see it on Instagram. I can just quickly show you for you to visualize how it looks like. So we have on Saturday, we have the launch party of Coco Hills here in Canggu. We have, I think by now, around 500 people on the guest list. It's free to come. There's free bar. I'm gonna make a presentation in person, whatever it's called. There's gonna be shows, experiences, and yeah, as everything else we do, it's about properties, but it's also about just having a good time. In the end of the day, our slogan is creating dreams, living them. So let's say you're not interested in investing in properties, you are still more than welcome to come by and just meet the team. And yeah, there's gonna be a lot of great people. See you, everybody.